Okay, so we're going to talk about your first project. So when you see the project tab up here, you have the PDF and you have the template. So let's start by looking at the template to see what's expected. When you open that up, the first thing you're going to need to do is to create an Excel spreadsheet to calculate a final grade. Make sure you include the following 5 bullet points here to get full credit for that. So you're going to start with the blank spreadsheet. Go back to here, put your name, course name, and project name. So name, this is math 123, and this is the Excel Gradebook project. So to put that stuff on there, we need to put category averages, correct weights, and all that. So if we go to the PDF now, which is up here, we can scroll down to the bottom, and here's your categories. So you need to type in these 5 categories. So midterm, final, what else do we have? Homework, projects, and quizzes. Homework, project, and quizzes. If you want to add a row here, you would right click and hit insert. So right click, insert. Sometimes it's nice to have some space. And then I can double click here, make that a little bit wider. If I want this to be over in cell B, I could highlight that. Just cut, paste. That way it's in a different spot. Okay. Then I would have my weights, category average, or double click between D and E if you want to extend it. And I'm essentially just going to fill out the weights and the average based on these. So just to do a couple of them here, where are we? Yeah, 25% for midterm. So the weight would be 0.25. Final, what was that? 30%. So the final 0.3. All right, and then let's just do one more. Homework was 0.1. All right, so now for category average, you actually have the averages for midterm and final. That's 70 and 52. So 70, 52. Homework, though, you're going to have to figure out the homework one. So if we go back to here, you need to add all these together, add all those numbers up, and divide by the total number. That'll give you a homework average, whatever that is. I'll let you guys figure that out. Same thing for projects and quizzes. Okay. Once you get that, the last one is weights times category average. Okay. Can make that bigger as well. Okay. And that's just going to equals weight times category average. There you go. All right, now let's talk about formatting a little bit. If I highlight this whole thing, I can right click and go to format cells. Okay. So highlight the whole thing, right click, format cells. Let's go to border. Fourth one over is border. I can pick a nice thick line here, put it on the outside. It's going to be a nice thick border. Take a thinner line here, put it on the inside, and hit OK. So now my table looks a little bit nicer. I also like to do things like highlight that and make it bold, highlight that and make it bold, and then you can highlight just the top part, right click on it, format cells, pick the double line, put it on the bottom. Okay, so it just makes your table look a little nicer. So try to do some formatting. You can pick whatever line types you want, but let's make it more than just a blank table. Okay, if you want to take all these now and then maybe center them, that also looks nice. All right, so this is basically going to be your Excel spreadsheet. All right, so once you have that done, you're going to actually calculate your grade. You need to make sure you have a cell that contains the final grade. So over on here, you might have this be your final grade. And then right here would be equals. You'd have to type in the formula for figuring that out. Okay. In this case, you'd want to do the sum of these numbers. Add those up. That's going to be your final grade. And so make sure you have that in there as a formula, not just the numbers added up, because you're going to change these numbers later. And if that's not a formula, you're going to have some trouble. Okay, so once you do that, you then have 8 reflection questions. You're going to write a paragraph explaining how you came up with the formula, what's the final grade, whoops, that wasn't good, undo. All right. And then what would the student need to get in the final exam to move to the next letter grade? So to do one like number 4, you just come back here and you could change that grade. Change it to 60, change it to 70. As you change that, this number will also change. And I'll let you play with that. All right, and then it just has a bunch of scenarios. What happens if you have a 0 in the last 2 homeworks? All right, so you're going to come back to here. What if these 2 weren't 98s? What if they were 0s? Recalculate the homework average, see what you get. All right. What if they got a 0 in the last 2 quizzes? Just a bunch of what if scenarios that you're going to do and plug them into your spreadsheet and see what you get. All right, and that's basically that. When you finish all these questions, you go back to here. It says you need to complete the assignment and turn in a working spreadsheet and the write-up template. So you're going to turn this document in along with that spreadsheet. And that's project number 1. Remember that this is where 20% of your grade, or all 3 projects are 20%. So this is going to be about 7% of your final grade. So do it.